Hey everybody, it's Mr. Kowalczyk here. We are going to do Geometry Unit 2, Lesson 5, and the main focus for today is using angle relationships to solve linear problems. So linear meaning line, simple algebraic equations, not any systems or any quadratics. So we're not going to have any of those. Standard 5-4, I can write and solve equations using my knowledge of angle pairs. So for the opener, what's an example of a linear equation with one variable? Recall that equations always have equal signs. So pause the video for a second, see if you can come up with any example of a linear equation from our algebra studies. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and tried. Linear equation is going to be something simple like we've been using so far in units 1 and 2. So an example with one variable would be something like 3x plus 24 equals negative 50, right? We could also have variables on both sides where we do something like 3n plus 85 equals negative 5n minus 14. So one variable can be on both sides, can only be on one. If I did something like this, where I had x plus 4y equals 12, this one would be incorrect. And see if you can figure out why that would be incorrect. It would be incorrect because there are two variables, right? Here we have two variables, x and y. So that's what makes it wrong. Okay, so linear equations, what we've been working on so far. All right, let's come on down here and we're going to go ahead and do the first four together that I've highlighted, and we're going to use diagram 1 to fill in the table below. Diagram 1 is right up here. Okay, so first off, we have the angle pair, the type of angle pair, and then the equation representing the relationship. If no relationship exists, write none. Okay, so type of angle pair. Let's review what kinds of angle pairs we have so far. Well, we really have three with kind of a fourth addition. So our first one is complementary, right? Those equal 90 degrees. They add up to 90 degrees. The second is supplementary. Those add up to equal 180 degrees. And our third, run out of space, is vertical. And the verticals are equal to each other. Just a reminder about those three. Now, the fourth one is that there's no relationship. There might not be any relationship between these, meaning they're not complementary, supplementary, or vertical. So we have to look out for that. All right, so let's check out 1 and 4. So here we have 1. And then 4 is right here. Okay, so that's 1 and 4. Now, hopefully you can see that one. I'm seeing there on both sides of the vertex. So those are going to be vertical angles. Yeah. Now, the equation representing the relationship, we said that verticals were equal each other. So then we say the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 4. All right, so that's how we're going to do these. I'm going to go ahead and try to jump into 7 and 8 here. So I got 7 right here. And then 8 right there. Okay, so I got 7 and 8 there. See if you can recognize what those are. They are supplementary angles. Why are they supplementary? Because these two angles together create a straight angle, and a straight angle has 180 degrees to it right there. Okay. So then our number sentence, or our equation, right, is going to be the measure of angle 7 plus the measure of angle 8 equals 180, because those two angles are going to add up to equal 180 degrees. All right, now let's jump into 2 and 5. 2 and 5. What do we got going on here? We got angle 2, and then we have angle 5. So I'm looking at this, and I kind of want to say that they're vertical angles, but I also kind of don't, because the vertical angles would be here. This would be one of the segments. Then the other one should be this one here. and this little ray here that's coming out is just getting in the way, then we can clearly see that angle 2 and angle 5 are not vertical equal angles. They just don't look the same. So that's a good check for us also. So on this one with 2 and 5, there's no relationship because they're not complementary, supplementary, or vertical. Okay, let's do one more together. We'll get a angles 10 and 11. Angles 10 and 11 are right here. And right away, I hope you see that symbol in the corner there. What's that symbol? Right down there, that's a 90-degree angle. It is going to be complementary. Blowing up here. So then our number sense is going to be the measure of angle 10 plus the measure of angle 11 equals complementary 90 degrees. Okay. All right, so I want you to try the rest of these 11 and 14, 3 and 1, and 13 and 14 on your own when we get into class. If you want to do them right now too, you can if you're on a roll. All right, let's check out the bottom of this here. This is going to be our first little sample of what we're going to be doing today in class. Now that you have practiced writing equations from relationships, let's start solving them. We're going to take our knowledge of angle relationships and apply algebra to solve for missing angle measures. All right, so first off, what we're solving for is the value of z. You see a z right over here. So the first question that I'm being asked is, what is the angle relationship? Well, I've got my angles, and here I have this angle right here with a value of 10z plus 14, and my other angle right over here. So when I look at that green highlighted section of the two angles, which one does it look like from diagram 1? And yes, I color coded on purpose. So as you can see, 7 and 8 were supplementary angles, which means they equal 180. So they're going to be supplementary. Create an equation. We know that from what we talked about earlier, that if we add the two angles together, they're going to equal 180. So that's the same thing that we need to do here. We need to take this expression and this expression, add them together to get that full 180 degrees. So we're going to have 10z plus 14 plus 36 equals 180. And with the z's, I put this little line in the middle because sometimes my z's get confused with 2's, whatever. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine 14 plus 36, 10z plus 50 equals 180. Then I want to get my numbers over here to one side, so I go minus 50. Those are going to reduce to 0. 10z equals 130. So I'm going to divide by 10. Z is equal to 13. Put a box around my answer, and we're good. All right, let's try just a few more, and then we'll be done with the video for today. Okay. So right here up at number 1, let's take a look. What is the value of E? So we're solving for E. There's an E here and an E there. The angle relationship, well, we see our excuse me, right angle right here. So this plus that, these two angles, E plus 3 plus 5E plus 15, are going to equal 90 degrees because they're complementary. Right? C comes before S in our alphabet. Supplementary comes after complementary. 90 comes before 180. All right, equation first. E plus 3 plus 5E plus 15 equals 90. All right, let's combine our like terms. We have E plus 5E gives us 6E, and then 3 plus 15 gives us plus 18 equals 90. Now we have our equation. I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides because these are my constants, my numbers. And then I'm left with 6E equals 90 minus 18 is going to give me 62. Is that right? No, 72, pardon me, 72. Didn't look right. Now I divide by 6. E is going to equal 72 divided by 6. which is going to be 12. Okay, so that was a complementary relationship. I'm going to skip number 2 because we just did a supplementary. Actually, no, I'm going to do number 2 because there's no diagram. I want to do that one. All right, so angle 1 and 2 are supplementary. So there's no diagram, so I like to visualize things. So I'm going to just create my supplementary angles here. So I have a straight angle and I've got 2 angles here. I don't know if the sizes are going to be right, but I'm just going to make them look supplementary to me. So we got 1 being b plus 63, and 2 is negative 18b minus 2. What is the measure of 1 and 2? So now I'm not being asked to solve for the variable. I'm being asked to solve for the measure of 1 and the measure of 2. So I'm going to have to plug my answer back in here to get my 2 angles. So they're supplementary because we're told that. And our equation first is going to be b plus 63 plus a negative 18b minus 2 equals 180. All right, let's combine our like terms, our numbers and our variables. B minus 18b is going to give me a negative 17b, plus 63 minus 2 is going to give me a plus 61 equals 180. Now we subtract 61 and we get negative 17b equals 119. Now I have this negative 17, so I need to be careful. I have to divide by a negative 17. Negative 17, and b is going to equal, let's calculate this bad boy up. 119 divided by negative 17. That's going to be a negative 7. Okay, now be careful because we're not done here, right? So what we need to do is we need to take this b and plug it back into here and in here. So we got negative 7, if that looks like a positive, negative 7 plus 63. That's going to equal negative 7 plus 63. That's going to be a positive 56. Okay. Oops, I shouldn't put my box around that because the measure of angle 1 is equal to 56 degrees. There's my final answer. Got to write it correctly. And then we have negative 18 times negative 7 minus 2. And I got to be careful with this here. I have a negative times a negative. That's going to give me a positive. So 18 times 7 is going to be 126 minus 2. And that's going to be 124 degrees. Measure of angle 2 is equal to 124 degrees. Now I can check this by adding 124 plus 56 together. 124 plus 56, that equals 180 degrees, which is my supplementary relationship, which checks out and tells me I did all my math correctly. All right, last one on the video. Let's go ahead and try number 5 here. We did complementary and supplementary. What do you think's left? You got it. So we have 2 angles on either side of the vertex here. And what color did I make my vertical angles? That's right. So we got these 2 angles here. And they are going to be supplementary. You got it. So, oh no, it's not supplementary, vertical. And from our previous example, the one we talked about in the beginning, vertical angles are equal to each other. So now we have 4x plus 2 equals 82. Subtract 2. 4x equals 80. Divided by 4. X equals 80 divided by 4 is 20. And we're being asked to solve for x. So there's our answer. And we're done. Okay, I didn't do all the practice problems, but tomorrow or whenever, tomorrow in class, we'll probably get to those. So finish up your notes, make sure you got everything down, and then we'll work on the rest of the practice problems tomorrow in class. All right, thanks a lot. Hope that was helpful.